Hello, everybody. Peter Gantner here. We are here today to talk about a new opportunity which has been coined Web 3. Of course, a lot of people don't even know that there was a Web 2, but there was. There was the initial web, which was Web 1. Then it went into Web 2, which is a web where people were able to, deliver content, monetize content. Part of the problem is that and for some, it was a great opportunity, right? The Zuckerbergs of the world, it was a great opportunity. Maybe a small handful of influencers, they were able to get on and monetize their content, and make money off of just everyday people. I mean, if you think about it, into the mid '90s, late '90s, if you wanted to get on TV or something like that, you had to go through the gatekeepers, right? And then all of a sudden, these platforms came up that allowed for people to go on there and do that. However, it created a lot of wealth, trillions and trillions of dollars in wealth. As a matter of fact, I was just reading that it looks like Elon Musk will be the first trillionaire. Now that's pretty amazing since in the mid '90s. I'm gonna have to look it up one of these days. I believe Bill Gates, of course, was the wealthiest man in the world, and it probably was worth like 25, 30 billion dollars. And now here we have somebody who's made over $1 trillion from simply providing services, right? Started with PayPal, went from PayPal to all the stuff that he's doing now. But and the neat thing is guys, look, it takes a lot to do that. I'm an entrepreneur and I've built quite a few companies and stuff like that. It's definitely not easy to build companies and put that together, but there is a new type of entrepreneur that's coming up, that looks at things a little bit differently than the Jeff Bezoses and the Elon Musks and the Zuckerbergs and a whole host of them, where they've created these platforms. They come up with ideas, and in order to fund those platforms and those ideas, they go out to traditional VCs, friends and family, small group of people, have them invest, and then utilize that, build up a company, provide services, pay to acquire customers, customer acquisition costs, things like that. If you've ever watched Shark Tank, they'll ask you, what's your customer acquisition cost, right? And usually that's when the wealthy keep getting wealthier. The average everyday person gets to be a customer. Well, in Web3, that's actually a little bit different. And the way that it's different is that customers become equity in a digital sense, meaning with digital assets. They actually get to participate in the upside, the financial side of the platforms and businesses that are happening right now. And I've got to tell you, 7 years ago, when we really discovered this, so 10 years ago, I came up with a concept called the participatory economy, and community is commerce, community coming together, everybody participates, everybody gets wealthy. And then 7 years ago, found blockchain and cryptocurrencies and realized that that was the opportunity for this to happen. And I thought when I first saw it, every single going to be on Web3 at the blink of an eye. And I was actually talking to somebody yesterday, and they had mentioned, that if you go look, positive versus negative stories in the press about crypto over the last 10 years or so, 15 years, it's, 90% negative, 10% positive. But they don't talk a lot about Web3. And the reason why is that there's not anything bad you can say about Web3, to be honest with you. I'm going to read you what Web3 is and some of the things that it does and it is. And you can think about Web 2, right, versus Web 3, and you can make a determination of which one you think is more beneficial to you. And absolutely, all I want you to do is think about yourself, okay? Greater control over your own personal data. How would you like to manage and control? And if your data gets monetized, you benefit from it, not somebody else. You can either say don't monetize it. With Web 2, when we think about this, oh, Facebook is free. No, it's not. We are the product. We're not the customer of Web 2. We are the product of Web 2. I don't like being a product. I want to be a customer. So what am I going to do? I'm going to engage with Web 3, because in Web 3, I am a customer, but also you're going to see that I can participate in the upside, the financial upside of these things. So true ownership of digital assets. It's interesting. Once you put money in the bank, it's actually not your money. That's why they can freeze it. That's why if I go to an ATM machine, let's say I had $10,000 in my banking account, I go to an ATM machine, I put in my card, I push in my PIN number, and I say, okay, I'd like to get some cash. It limits me to 400 or 500 or $1,000, depending on the type of account that you have. Well, wait a minute, that's my money. Why won't you give it all to me, right? That type of thing. So there are limitations because at that point, so with true digital asset ownership and a decentralized system, you have 100% control of your digital assets. Okay. Access to decentralized finance. There's just a world out there, guys, that most of us don't know anything about. As a matter of fact, we were talking to somebody a couple weeks ago, and they were talking about making 50% a month on returns. And I'm like, what are you talking about, right? And they said, look, there's an elite class of people out there that are able to get these type of returns. And we said, well, how do you get involved? Oh no, it's literally for just a select group of people. I don't know about you, I'm not one of those people, but I would like to be. And how do you do that? That's through decentralized finance. There's no, it is literally open to anybody being able to. There are platforms out there where I can go buy any token that's on there, no matter my situation, whether I have $100 in the bank or 100,000 or 1 million or $10 million in the bank. Censorship resistant. I think that's better for everybody. Direct monetization for creators. The web has indirect monetization. I want you to get that point right there, guys. If I use YouTube, that is not direct monetization. That's indirect monetization because first it goes to YouTube, then it comes to me. In this scenario, it's going to go directly to the creators. But here's the part that's really super great for us users. I know I do some content. We're putting it up on YouTube, but I use a lot more platforms than I'm putting content on to make some money on. I would love to be a user of products and services. And in this case, we're going to talk about banking, right? I have lots of banking accounts. I do lots of banking all the time. And in that case, I'm just a customer. In Web3, DO banking, which is what we're going to talk about today, I'm not just a customer, I'm a participant in the financial upside of the DO banking system. All right. Potential for lower cost, borderless transactions, and more transparency and secure interactions. I got to tell you guys, this is one of the biggest problems in the world today, and not just in America, but around the world, is transparency, right? We want more transparency in our lives. I'm going to show you right now a graph that I had Grok make for me that lays out, so the important things of the web is decentralization, user data ownership, transparency, scalability, interoperability, and security is this bottom one right here. The blue is actually Web3. It beats or ties Web 2, so it beats it in 1, 2, 3, 4 categories, ties it in 1. There's only one category where Web 2 outshines, and that's scalability. Well, the project we're going to talk about today changes that. It moves this dot from here to, I believe, past the scalability of Web 2. And that means that Web 3 will beat Web 2 in every single category and tied in security. I want to ask you this question. If there is a product that literally beats an existing product that has billions of people using, we can all agree that today there are billions of people using Web 2. Once this problem is fixed here, wouldn't most of those billion, if not all of those billion, go, why am I using Web 2? I could use Web 3 where I can actually participate in the upside, the next trillions of dollars in income and revenue that's going to be created and made out there. So instead of it being consolidated into a small group of less than 1% of the population, wouldn't it be cool if it went out to 10 or 20 or 30 or 40 or 50% of the population? That is what is about to happen with Web3. And the number one area, so 3 years ago, I sat down and said, how can we take this scalability issue and make it work in Web3. And I came to the conclusion that it would need to be done through some type of a new type of financial institution that would allow for people to onboard into crypto very easily. And that is what's called banking. All right. Now, before we get into that, let's look at how big the banking industry is. The traditional banking industry in 2024 did $5.5 trillion in revenues, helping push the sector's net income, not gross income, net income to $1.2 trillion, the highest total ever for any industry, meaning the banking industry makes more profit than any industry on the planet. And the great thing is like I said, in order to solve this issue right here, it is going to take a new type of entity, and that is called banking. So, who is involved in this, guys? Reeve Collins. So, I've been an entrepreneur my entire life. I love the whole thing about entrepreneurs. And so since I loved it, I got involved with it, built some successful companies. And with that, and coming up with this idea of the participatory economy and communities commerce, I spent the last 10 years working with more than 50 inventors, creators, people that said, I want to be entrepreneurs. And the main lesson that I learned out of all of that is that you can have a great product, you can have funding, you can have all the elements and still fail if you do not have the right person at the helm of the ship, right? And nothing beats experience. Nothing beats past performance to determine what future performance or what future results can be. So we're going to go down and we're going to look at the career of, and if you want to go visit this, you can go to reevecollins.com and you can read all about him, guys. It's in 1997, first job, right? Pops out of college, goes to work for an ad agency that goes online and starts to market online. That agency was Avenue A. Avenue A goes public in 2000 for a market cap of 6.6 billion, making Reeve pretty wealthy, right? And that is absolutely amazing there. But it doesn't stop. He didn't have one success in his career. In 2002, another lucrative exit. In 2000 and here we got another $235 billion, right, was acquired. We can see it, but I'm telling you the most important, the one, and the one that I'm the most grateful for is his success in 2013. Him and two other partners got together. They found the crypto space. His first initial fell in love with this idea of decentralization, of being able to have the customers participate. The whole idea of Web3, instead of just customers, you've got active participants who get to benefit financially. And so he started a project called Tether with two other co-founders. Tether has now become the foundation of the entire cryptocurrency marketplace. So lately has very much shown that Tether was needed. As you can see, there's a lot of red going on right now in the crypto market. But look at this. Tether is stable as can be, right? This is the reason why Bitcoin got to the value that it's at right now. It's the reason why Ethereum was able to work. So there's two projects above Tether. One is Bitcoin. It started it all, right? It's created $1.4 trillion in wealth. You have Ethereum, created smart contracts, $259 billion in net worth. And then you have Tether, which is $185 billion in net worth, right? But if you look at this, guys, even on these days, you can add both Bitcoin and Ethereum together, and you do not have the daily trading volume of Tether. So it was an essential part of bringing it together. And this is the man that created it. And so what we're talking about is a new form of a financial system, banking. And if you're going to go with somebody and say, hey, needs to be reinvented. It needs to be redone. Then this would be somebody who you would say, you know what, I'm going to bet on this guy because of his track record, because what he's achieved, his knowledge in this space is absolutely incredible. So you can check that out from there. What I want to do now is have you guys hear from Reeve Collins talking about this project, his involvement in it, where he refers to it as his project, right? A company that he started. And he'll talk to you a little bit about who benefits from the success of Wefi.
The next piece in delivering on the promise of blockchain, which is democratized access to high quality financial services for the world. We're finally ready for that. And so that's my company called Wefi. So that's wefi.co. And it is a neobank. We've coined a new term called neobank, a decentralized on-chain bank. So there's banking in the traditional systems, and then the neobank, which is using the traditional system, but with no physical presence, just online. And the neobank is, instead of using the traditional system, it's online, but it's using the future system, the blockchain. And so what that enables is just better services at cheaper rates, because the blockchain does what the regular system does, but just much, much, much more efficiently and on a global scale. And so we've packaged and simplified the complexities of utilizing blockchain-based wallets and making investments in DeFi and different things like that. We've really created a very simple and friendly user interface and beautiful brand around it called Wefi. So people can then just get higher quality services. So the first product is a card, and then it'll be lending, and then it'll be actually earning high yield on your savings account, above 10%, and then access to DeFi investments all through this user interface.
And has that launched yet?
That's launched.
Okay.
Yeah. And the beauty of Wefi is we're also putting the community first, and Wefi is truly delivering on the promise of Web3, which is ensuring the community is the one that gets rewarded for participation. So there's a token. So we have an ITO, which is an initial technology offering, and people can buy into that, which mines Wefi tokens, which power the network and provide all the rewards. And since we're doing that type of sale, because then tens of thousands of people, and soon over 100,000 people, will be investors and customers. Because while we do provide very efficient banking services in a very beautiful package, there are a lot of people providing banking services. So how do you get ahead in that? You get lots of customers by making them your investors and by rewarding them the most. And by
So guys, there's the key: rewarding them the most, not the founders, not the investors, the VCs and that type of stuff, but rewarding the customers. Imagine if, and everyone on here has had a banking account for at least, 5, 10, 20, 30. I mean, I've had banking accounts now for nearly 40 something years, right? Imagine if throughout that time, instead of just my bank charging me fees, imagine if they would have rewarded us for that participation. And not just in banking, it goes well beyond that. Just think about that when you start thinking about Web 2, the platforms that you use, whether it's Amazon or PayPal or whatever. I know that in the early days of PayPal, they had a plan where you could recommend it to friends. We started using it. We recommended it out there. Got a few $100s. Yay! You know what I mean? Would I have not rather had gotten a digital asset that represented the value of PayPal? And then when it was sold to eBay, I would have gotten some, big digital check right there, or a new digital asset that represented the value of eBay. These are very simple concepts, guys. It's very hard for us to understand because we're so used to just being customers that if you're going to do business, we should be grateful to the people that have created these products and services for us, and that simply the value of the product itself is enough. I am telling you guys, every single successful brand out there, we can watch McDonald's or, Ray Kroc, and we can admire these inventors for the values that they created and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, if it wasn't for the customers, if it wasn't for the first people that went to the burger stand and started buying burgers and then went back and bought more burgers or bought more burgers, Ray Kroc would have never been a billionaire. McDonald's would have never been successful. It's the same thing with every single business out there. It is super important, guys, for us to start to change our thinking and start to think of it as the value that we provide. Is it worth just getting a product, or is it worth getting digital assets and being able to benefit from that? So, of course, Reeve is not the only one that's involved with this. He has 4 other founders. Maxim, young guy, already very successful himself, already made himself very wealthy in building businesses in IT and in finance, and of course in Web3. So he is the CEO of the company. He's, working day and night to be able to bring this thing across the finish line. We're getting very close for this thing to open up in Europe. Very excited about that. And then once Europe is open, then this thing goes global and we bring it around the world. DO banking is a better form of financial mechanism for people to be able to do the services that are done through traditional banking. The next person I'll talk about here is Roman Rosoff. Roman Rosoff is a technology genius, especially when it comes to building financial software. He built Wise, which is one of the top neobanks in the world, has built other projects, has more than 10 years experience. He has built every bit of the technology and the products and the services that will be rolled out. And one of the gentlemen, we had a call with him actually last night in Thailand, Frankie. He has seen the software himself with his own eyes and said it was, and he knows he uses Revolt Banking, which is a top bank out of Europe. That's a neobank, has used Wise Bank as well. And at the end of the day, he says that this technology that he's seen, the interface, is better than both of those banks. By the way, guys, Revolt Bank today is valued at over $80 billion. Wise Bank is in the tens of billions of dollars. So these are very successful companies that have software that people are using today that, Frankie absolutely said that our software was easier, more intuitive, and better to use. I'm actually going to let you hear from all 5 of the inventors. Here we are. All right, here we go.
Hello, my name is Reeve Collins. I created Tether, the world's first stablecoin. It's amazing to see how stablecoins have become the foundation of the cryptocurrency ecosystem. Now I'm building Wefi, a bank reimagined with community at its core. Powered by blockchain, Wefi operates at a fraction of traditional banking costs, allowing us to share the value directly with our users. Our community doesn't just use the platform, they are the heart of it. They earn the rewards and reap the benefits of their contributions. With world-class financial products and a relentless focus on user empowerment, Wefi isn't just a bank, it's a global movement. Join us in building the future of financial access for the world.
Wefi is the first bank built for crypto. As stablecoins go mainstream, all transactions will eventually move to crypto rails because they are faster, cheaper, and smarter. Traditional banks will try to catch up, but we are already there. Wefi designed for a crypto native today and for the billion who will become crypto users tomorrow. We make banking more rewarding, more efficient, and more fun. Wefi isn't just a better crypto bank, it's a better bank, period.
Hey everyone, I lead product and technology at Wefi. This is a full-stack company built in-house by engineers, developers, and designers. Everything you see, from staking to real-time portfolio tracking, is custom and is modular and self-custodial. You can move money, stake, use, and hold all in one place. We ship fast, but we care about every detail: UX, security, and clarity. My job is to turn complexity into something people actually want to use. Not a theory, a working product. And we are just getting started.
Wefi, I focus on bringing crypto into real everyday business. More people are using digital assets, but merchants still struggle to accept them. We're solving that. From crypto-enabled POS terminals to ATM networks and merchant tools, we build the infrastructure that makes crypto work on the ground. This isn't tomorrow's use case. It's already happening, and we're making it simple.
I served as the global head of private banking for the National Bank of Abu Dhabi and was CEO to 3 banks in Switzerland. I spent over 25 years in global banking. Over time, I saw how traditional systems began to fall behind. Slow, expensive, very complex, and disconnected from the digital world. What drew me to Wefi is that it's not a patch on old finance. It's a purposely built neobank, fast, transparent, and ready for a global user base from day one. From experience, I can say that this is not a passing trend. It's a fundamental shift from closed systems to open ones, from control to collaboration. And Wefi is building that shift with clarity and conviction.
From control to collaboration, guys. That's the type of economic system that I believe that we need to build, and that is one that Wefi is moving forward. So I actually want to show you guys how simple it is to get involved with this. So I'm going to let you know right up front, there's nothing new to learn. You don't have to, go through and try to figure things out. Everything that we're doing is super simple, super easy to do. I'm trying to move this out of the way and it's being, okay, we'll just leave it in the way. So what I've done is I've actually already moved some crypto into here, and don't worry about it. If you don't have any crypto, there's somebody that can help you get into it, get on board it fairly easily and simply from here. But I've already actually uploaded some. This is my daughter's account here. So for the holiday Christmas, I bought her some $250 worth of Wefi tokens. You can see that in the last month, she's made a 16% return on this. She's mined 19 Wefi tokens. I'm going to go back over here and we're going to put in WFI. It is a free trading token right now, guys. It is right now at 229. It's come down a little bit, but compared to the rest of the crypto market, it's actually doing really well as far as percentage-wise of holding up, but it's going to go back up. I mean, it would not surprise me. Again, not financial advice. You need to do your own research. But as this thing grows, we go from right now, he had mentioned in the video from 10,000 to 100,000. That video was done much earlier. It is now closer to over 200,000 customers worldwide, and this is about to blow up as soon as the full banking side opens in Europe here anytime now. Then it's going to go into the millions of people that are using the system on a daily basis, and this is going to continue to increase. And I believe at that point we can go to $22, $23, $25 a token. And at some point, my own belief system is that this will be a token that'll be worth several $100s. So let's talk about this. If it just goes to $20 a token, just what my daughter's account has mined in the last 4 to 5 weeks, at $20 a token would be over $400 right here. This is going to mine for another 6.5 more years. So this is literally 50 times this amount of tokens or more that she will end up having by the end of that time frame, literally ending up with tens of thousands of dollars in potential. So, and that's not all we get, guys. So we buy ITO miners, which are initial technology offering. It's simply cloud mining. It's mining the token. Every time the computers do their thing with the algorithms, it creates tokens, about 8 tokens per second. And those tokens are distributed out to the mining power that allows it to happen in the cloud. Now, the neat part about it is I'm going to go purchase these real quick. So I've already got crypto in here. So once you have the crypto in here, guys, this is as simple as it is. Now, once I am done with this, I could take the next 6 years, not log in at all, and I could come back and I would have a whole host of tokens sitting here. It will continue to mine, meaning there's no maintenance for me to do. There's no update with equipment. There's no update. There's no monthly fee. Once I spend this, and you can see right now, I'm staking it for 5 years. Why? Because I get 30% more boost. And since this is a bank, in about a year, I'll be able to borrow against my assets which if you talk to any wealthy person out there, what they do is they don't sell assets, they borrow against the assets, and then they invest in new things. Not just in the crypto market, but in all markets out there, right? They're not selling their property, they're borrowing against it and putting that in another business and paying it back. So I'm going to go ahead and hit continue. I'm going to click this box here. I accept the note agreement. Voila. I am done and finished, guys. I do not have to log back in here for 6.5 years. I could come back. There'd be well over 1,000 tokens here. The token could be at 20, 30, 40, 50, $200. Imagine $200. Imagine right now there's $300 in this account, 250 and 48. So 48, whatever it was, 49. So less than $300 in this account. Imagine 1,000 tokens at $200 or $300 a token. That would be incredible. Not only do we get the miners when we do this, but we also get a gift certificate that allows for us to get shares in the core banking, DO banking entity that is called Wefi.co. Wefi.co is the entity that's managing the banking partnerships that they're putting together, the regulatory side of things, in making the day-to-day side of this happen so people can go seamlessly from fiat to crypto and then back from crypto to fiat and all those things. So what I can do here is, because I bought more ITO units, you'll see that I have a verify button here. I hit verify, and I've just received a gift certificate for another 107 shares in Wefi.co when that time comes. When they issue those shares, I can hit close, and you can see now it's gone up to 676 shares. So this is another way for me to benefit. So I can benefit from the mining. I can also benefit from that. I'm going to go back here because there's actually 2 other ways to benefit from Wefi. So this is the mining, of course, where you're mining it. If you decided that you wanted to share this with other people and you go, oh, there's a bank that's going to share in the revenue, or a DO bank that's going to share in the revenue of all your banking services and all this stuff here. And somebody goes, well, I want to do that. When they come in and they purchase ITOs to mining, you will actually receive anywhere from 5 to 25% of their ITO purchases. Now they're mining the token. You've received a commission. But here's the cool part about it. There's a third way to make money here, and that is off of the people you refer being able to make money off of all of their banking services every time they scan their card. I was talking to Frankie last night, and he was telling me that just off of cards from his current team that he has, they were timing it. He was making 60 cents a minute. Now, that doesn't sound like a lot of money, but that is $36 an hour, 24 hours a day, is over $700 a day, which is over $20,000 a month already just off of card services. People swiping their cards, fees and stuff on the Visa side that they've already built up and that he's already making money on. Imagine having a few hundred, few thousand people that you're connected to where you're getting this type of residual income. If I think about it, back in the day when I recommended the PayPal to people, I think we made like $400 or $500. It was like $5 you got. So that's probably 100 people. I wonder how many people those 100, because it was just one level, just directly. I wonder how many people they recommended. And then those people recommended. I could have possibly helped thousands of people get PayPal accounts, and all I got was a few $100s up front. In this situation, because we've been referring this to other people, we've actually gone out and referred it to about a dozen people right now. And those dozen people have turned into, right now, it's coming in, 854 total affiliates that I will at some point, and I'm already receiving some. Here's the cards. They're not open in the country where most of these people are based, but I've already made about $20 so far just off of people using cards directly, indirectly, I can come down here and you can see that these are card transactions right here where I'm making, oh, sorry, wrong place here, guys. Let me go here. You can see over here where there are card transactions where I'm currently making a penny here and a penny here and a few pennies here off of other people's Visa card transactions that are not directly tied into my organization. Right here, you see these micro pennies right here? These are from people's Visa cards that they're out there using around the world from there. So already making that residual income off of other people's Visa cards from around the world. Also, too, is now you can actually purchase the WFI tokens in world. I've been doing that. And you can see that I've already made a little bit of money from that. So imagine making money from cryptocurrency transactions, from Visa card transactions, just by simply sharing with people this concept and this idea that there is a new entity, a neobanking, that has said, you know what we're going to do? We're going to start this banking services. We're going to be cheaper. We're going to be faster. We're going to be, you know, absolutely customer centric. If you've ever heard Jeff Bezos talk about how Amazon got as big as it got, it was because they were customer centric. How do you go beyond the customer centricness that Amazon had? Make your customers benefit financially from the success of the company that they're early adopters of. That it goes way beyond being customer centric, right? On that side of it. Actually, and somebody was telling me that they just added here. Let me see if it's here across the top. They just added a new category. Coin Market Cap has categories, and I'm not seeing them right now. That normally goes across the top here. Let me see if I can find them again. They just added as one of their categories, neobanking. So, you know, they have like meme coins and, you know, different types of coins that they rate. And they literally have just added neobanking as one of the categories that they actually show here. That's how innovative. This man right here creates a new term, a new category, and the number one project that lists cryptocurrencies is actually putting it on there as a new category of that. That's the innovation that's taking place. So guys, that's it right now. You can get involved, become part of a neobank. You can get ITOs, just simply mine the Wefi token, which I believe is going to be a top 10 token at some point, which means it would be worth, you know, I don't know what the bottom of the top 10, but in the next few years, that's going to go up. So I would say that it has the possibility for the top market cap, the max supply of about 1 billion tokens being worth several $100 billion in value right there. You could be mining that every single day. Right now, when you buy an ITO for about 60 cents, I believe your cost per token at the end of it, when it's all done, when it's mined out, is somewhere around 16, 17, 18 cents. Right now, it's trading at $2.23. So if you went and bought one, and then you went and bought ITOs, same amount, $2.29 worth. Literally, you'd have one token here. And in this sense, you'd have what? 15 tokens, something like that, right? So what's the better way to go is to be able to get the tokens at a discount by staking them and then borrowing against that asset. Remember, this is an affiliate program. If somebody sent you this video, if they invited you here to watch it, get back with them, get their affiliate link. Let's go out and change the world, guys. Look, what is going to move us from Web 2 to Web 3 is people using Web 3. It's that simple. If people keep using Web 2, no problem. We want to just keep making sure that, you know, poor Elon gets to $1 trillion. I mean, wouldn't it suck to just be worth 800 billion? I mean, that'd be terrible, right? To make sure that, you know, Jeff Bezos and Mark Zuckerberg, you know, they got their yachts with their follow-along yachts that cost them, you know, $1 million a week to maintain and keep on the water, or some crazy number like that. Sure, let's keep using Web 2. Let's keep making those guys wealthier. Or we can say, you know what, I'm going to start to change my focus. Just simply take the dollars you're spending here and start to move them into Web3 projects, support Web3 inventors instead of a Web2 inventor that says, I'm going to make myself rich, my friends and family, and I'm going to make VCs rich. Why not go to inventors who are saying, you know what, I'm going to do it differently. I'm going to utilize this model called Web3, and that is where I'm going to create. That's where I'm going to spend my money and go from there. So, all right, guys, thank you for joining me.